I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money, the live streaming capital of YouTube, social media, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Because we're going live again tonight for some Monday night football. I hope you guys are fired up and excited. We got a special type of show tonight. Special type in that, look, we're going to talk, boom, baseball, Major League Baseball. Still that time of year. We got 2 weeks left. It has been so damn good to us that we can't let it go. Got to keep firing. And fire we will. We'll get to the end. I'm going to give you my side for the 7 p.m. Monday night football game. It's a doubleheader tonight. We'll head on over from here to the dual stream, the Sports Money Network, Racing with Razor. I'll finish the breakdowns. I've got about a half a dozen player props. I've got a touchdown parlay between both teams, between both games. And I've got side and total for that Chargers game as well. So that's the game plan. That's the way we're going to attack it, because the NFL starts at 7 p.m. tonight. It's like 7:01. So does not afford us the opportunity to sit around here till 7:05, 7:10, 7:15, and then start at 7:45. We got to start early because we got 2 games. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a ton of fun to get after it. Both games have some intriguing storylines here via the NFL that we'll have some fun talking about. We'll hear sides and totals. It's going to be an interesting night of guests joining us. Just had to double check to make sure I wasn't muted. Spending all this time breaking down the game plan for you guys. Wanted to make sure I didn't mute myself. So guests will be joining us as they get out of work, as they become available throughout the evening. East Coast, it's early. Guys are coming home from work right now. You guys know the deal. I'm going to get my last effort of hydration in me before we dehydrate. Man, a long day. Long day today. We're going to have 7 till that last game will go past midnight. East Coast time. Starts at 10 p.m. It's got to go past midnight. First half will be probably sitting there around midnight. We had a huge stream on Saturday. I want to thank you guys all that were a part of that. Absolutely destroyed the UFC. Absolutely destroyed it. Top to bottom, start to finish. I was saying this yesterday. I feel like I gave out more plus 400 or better tickets on Saturday than I had in a minute. The Nina Drama curse is still alive. We leveraged that thing. We rode it like a pony. Smash or pass? I'd probably have to pass. I don't know what's going to happen if you smash. The curse is real, man. Look, Mr. Curtain Jerker. Donchenko, it was that Ultimate Fighting Championship. We faded the Nina curse. Montserrat Rendon, we caught her live as high as plus 250. Did have a parlay piece where it was Costa KO or Correa decision. It was Correa KO. Either way, it was a dog. Zach Reese was no contest. From there, it went glorious. Aguilar and Aguilar decision. Tatiana Suarez wins by decision. Joaquim Silva decision. Had that one. Tedesco submission. That was like plus 400 or 500. Can't remember. Santiago Luna inside the distance. First round KO. Alexander the Great Hernandez. I gave that one out as my first strike play. Round 2 knockout. No sweat plus money. Kevin Gastelum, decision. That was the one where everybody said, hey, this guy's coming in overweight. Rafa Garcia, KO, had Garcia as a dog. David Martinez, decision winner as a dog. And the main event, Diego Lopez, KO, winner. I mean, that's a damn good UFC card in itself. But it didn't stop there, because we went back and rallied. We rolled around and got back on for the monster boxing event of the year. The world was on Alvarez. Not your boy. +1, I forgot what it was, 150, something like that. Bud Crawford goes out there and gets the win. Hopefully you guys can see the way this thing works, especially with these sports becoming more popular. As they become more popular, you start to have to think a little bit different. You have to think the public's all over this thing. Why is this line not moving? Everyone thinks this guy's coming up 2 weight classes. It's going to be trouble. Nope, no trouble at all. If he could survive the punch, he could certainly go out there and win the fight, and that's exactly what he did. That's how he ended Saturday. Okay in the start of the card for the NFL on Sunday. Middle card swept it. Nobody had the Colts coming out there going and covering a 2.5. We did. Eagles smoked them. Expected that. I played both the first half and the full game on that Carolina Panthers side of things. Full game cash, first half did not. So let's push. And then I got busted up a little bit by the Minnesota Vikings. JJ McCarthy's not him. So that's the way we blasted through the weekend. Baseball galore in there. College football Saturday. Man, I think we gave out like 40 plays on college football Saturday. Saturday streams, now that we've got all these sports, have evolved. If you guys haven't checked them out in a minute, certainly make sure you do. You don't want to miss it. Sadly, there's no UFC this weekend. So, Dana White Contender Series tomorrow night. Week 6, 10 weeks in the schedule, halfway point. And then we'll pick back up with the UFC on September 27th. Alberg versus Reyes from Australia. From down under, mate. Bunch of Sheilas, cheeky Sheilas. So that's the deal, you guys. We got baseball to talk about. Cubs and Pirates, the Yankees and the Twins. Baltimore and the White Sox, the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. Texas versus Houston. Philly versus Dodgers. I added Braves versus Nationals because why the fuck not? We have been destroying. We have been slaying the dragon that is Major League Baseball. We picked up 3 units on Friday. Colorado Rockies, dog spot, got them done. It's a mediocre day besides that. You know, we tried our 3-leg parlay for 400, didn't get it. Syracuse under got busted up. Colorado plus 4.5 got busted up. We won the Arizona spot in college football. The Rockies were really the big piece that came through for us. And that's kind of how I talked about it. We talked about setting up and strategizing on the card, right? It's not just, you want to try to have some core. Then you want some plus money. You want maybe a parlay or 2 pieces tied together that can make you something. Big news is we've cashed 2 in a row on the Nerfy front now. I do have a Nerfy. I'm just waiting on a couple things. I'm just waiting on a couple things for tonight's Nerfy. So we'll see if that can get there for us, but it's going to be a fun night, fun evening galore. Team's heating up. The squad is heating the fuck up, and the bookie's about to find out. So I'm excited about the direction things are heading here. And let's see. Props, sides, steam. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. I can't think of it. If I'm missing it, we're all going to miss it. Because that's the way the cookie crumbles. So you guys know the deal. It's that time of the show. We're going to move quickly because we only have 30 minutes before we're going to pop off on the other side to talk about the NFL. So if you're making money with us, if you're enjoying the content, if you're just here and you like to hit the thumbs up button for the kicks, now's the time to do just that. Get your kicks off and smash that thumbs up button. Make some noise. Let's let YouTube know this community ain't going nowhere. We're growing day by day by day by day. Okay. That was exciting. It was fun. It was just a good weekend. You know, it's anytime you have a good weekend, you like to few and far between. The losses hurt, but the wins. Got to make sure you take some time to smell the roses. You know what I mean? Can't just go out there and always feel miserable about your losses. Put you in a bad mental state. Then the serotonins don't fire properly, and all you're doing is losing. And then that's why losing snowballs. Then you feel like, shit, I can't pick a winner to save my life. And you got to make sure that doesn't happen. You got to stay fresh. You got to, what I say before, got to treat the golden goose, or it doesn't keep laying the golden eggs. Sometimes they say you have to take time to sharpen your sword. And that's what I'm trying to do here in the ranks of football. Looking back at last year, we're coming into trend season now that we have got a couple of weeks of games under our belt. But what a tough break this weekend for Joey Burrow. That guy's always fucking hurt. And he's hurt again. Really, it's impressive. Every year that guy seems to have to deal with something. Jaden Daniels, the Commanders. I told you guys I wasn't high on Jaden Daniels in year number 2, the sophomore slump. We'll talk about the sophomore slump and how it affected one of the players tonight. And it wasn't a good thing. Justin Fields, concussion protocol. Tyrod Taylor trotted his ass out there. The Jets got busted up. Brock Purdy, toe injury still. Since the Niners looked all right, I'll tell you this. Get a bet down for the Niners this coming week. Doesn't matter. Mac Jones looked all right. Plus 1.5. That line's going to move. The Bengals and Joey Burrow with the toe surgery is going to keep him out for 3 months. That's unbelievable. Carolina dealt with some ravaging injuries across the front line for an offense that's got young, unskilled players behind. Not that they're unskilled, but they're young and inexperienced in the NFL. Rookies and second-year players. It's going to be some time to fade and start taking those team total unders for Carolina. I don't want to overreact to that, but I do feel that's something that we're going to certainly have to keep our eyeballs on because you're not going to be able to move the fucking ball. That's what it comes down to. Your offensive line gets busted up, and that affects one of the games that we have on deck tonight. And in college football, Clemson keeps losing. Notre Dame keeps losing. Those two teams are pretty much eliminated from contention. That's a quick round the horn. I think that's a quick round the horn. Kind of some of the things that stuck out to me this weekend. Let's see what you guys have to say about some best bets so that we can get this show on the road. It's Jover in the house. Jover's got the Astros, or the Astros, the Texans and the Chargers in a parlay. Okay, Jover. Red Rover. Send Jover on over. Skunt Blaster's in the house. What up, Skunt? Tarek B says, what up, Big Mike? It was fun last night. Here, McCarthy's. He's no good as a quarterback. Yep. Yep. All you can say. All you can say. Listen. Ron got a little upset when I talked about the fix. And then when you show people the video evidence, they just go, pfft. They can't handle it. They blow up. But what I saw with McCarthy last night is not what I saw with McCarthy in the second half last game before that. So I'll stand on it. It doesn't mean we're not going to bet it. It was all fun. It was all good, fun little banter. He's on Tampa money line. Says I don't need the points. And he wants the over 42. Skunt Blaster likes Mike Evans and Baker go off tonight. Baker Mayfield, MVP plus 2,500. Skunt Bag, play of the day is a Mike Evans anytime touchdown at plus 170. Stop Juice wishing you all the luck. Barry's in the house says make sure you eat your Wheaties. That's a lot of booze for one night. I had a decent lunch today. It was all right. Skunt Blaster says Herbert anytime touchdown for plus 500. Barry says I like a little Herbert. Also Skunt. Louis Eisenhauser. Razor was on the Pirates money line. Anyone else think it will be pitchers dual low score? Stop Geo says my splits on this Bucks Texans game. 137,000 plus bets, 3.5 million in tickets. Bucks with 59% of the bets and the money line and only 37% of the cash. Sharp money possibly on Houston. Irish King, shout out to you. Shout out to Nicholas Haney. Shout out to Joe W. The Futon Bets. Bucky, Mike Evans, Genty, Keenan Allen, anytime touchdown parlay with the 50% boost. Redbeard says Cuse plus 17.5 at Clemson this week. They always play Clemson tough. Remember when Clemson had the undefeated season and Clemson rolled into Syracuse? Syracuse beat them. Syracuse is like the little sister of the ACC. And every so often, your big brother comes home drunk and you get the opportunity to slap him with your brush. And I think that's what Syracuse is going to do to Clemson this weekend. Possibly. Wrong team favorite. Okay. I'm going to do it. In this Cubs and Pirates game, I'm going to be head-to-head with razor sharp picks. I saw you guys say in the chat that Razor's on them Pirates. I get it. Look, there's a lot of trends for the Pirates. Undefeated spots. Here's the thing. This Cubs lineup starting to come back together a little bit. Now, at 73% of the bets and 66% of the cash, yeah, that line's come down 60 cents. What the fuck happened? Right? I mean, that's the heart. That's the soul of the GFG. Like, that's a big move with all that money coming on the other side. And at first look, it should be this way. Then things don't make sense. I don't know. I'm not going to try to understand where somebody else's pick is. That's why I don't listen to a lot of shows because I don't want somebody else's opinion to tarnish mine. But I think this is one of those spots where you got a Cubs team that, what are they playing for? I mean, it's not pride. You know, you could argue, well, they're playing the lowly Pirates is what they're playing. And the pride is I can't lose to the Pirates. Now they're pretty much locked into look, the NL wildcard race. The Cubs should have the top spot. The Brewers probably went out there and did enough to go figure it out. That's the stake. Braxton Ashcraft is the question mark. And so you're playing basics. Playoff caliber team, top 5 in baseball and hitting, was number 1 going into the All-Star break against a unknown rookie commodity. Now he does have a 2.47 ERA. I get that. And it's the third time through for some of these Chicago Cubs. Now, when I talk about the Cubs had regression. They, in the middle of the post-All-Star break, they just couldn't get themselves back and going. However, against righties this month, they have improved considerably. 321 OBA, a 109 WRC plus. Remember, 100's even. Even Steven. And then you still have Pirates bullpen. 4.21 ERA over the last 2 weeks. So, all of that aside, the Pirates are averaging 2.6 runs a game. 1-9 in their last 10. They're 29th in OBA. They're 56 WRC plus is 29th in all baseball. Jameson Taillon comes back, rolls off 2.35 ERA. So I get the line. Keep in mind, this time of year, a lot of public people playing baseball. And the Sharps have more or less said we've had a good year. We're going to wait until the postseason to get back involved. I'm going to take a shot. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And you know what? If I'm wrong, at least our brother will have won. So that's all good. But I can't pass it up. This is one of those spots where the number came into the realm of, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to have to take it. And if I have to take it and take it in the shorts to find out, then I apologize. In the words of Conor McGregor, then I apologize to absolutely nobody. Because I think this is just too good to pass up. I think we're going to take a shot with these boys and see if we can't get it done. I realized I didn't put the stamps in there. So the banners. So I'm doing them on the fly as we roll here. So the next game I've got the graphic for the Yankees, but the first game I want to get involved with here is an over 9. The Braves and the Nats. Late ad, I had to get myself right with the fact that, much like we talked about that last game, what's going on with this line? Let me make sense of this line. It opened at 9. It's at 9. That 9's a key number. We've talked about it. 78% of the bets and 79% of the cash are on the Braves. On the over, I'm sorry. 83% of the bets. Public loves the Braves, but only 54% of the cash, suggesting a really nice price tag for the Nationals. It's a divisional matchup. These teams have seen each other an absolute ton this year. I told you there's only 2 weeks left. So I started to peel the proverbial covers back. Braves in this situation. What have they been doing? Well, Braves are going to brave. Braves came off a win. They just beat Houston. Before that, tough straights, man. Cubs, Houston, losses, Phillies mixed in there. Tough spot. And the Nationals are 2-1. That was against that Pirates team that everybody seems so high on. So they're at home. They haven't had to relocate. I think it's a terrific spot for the bat, especially knowing that they've cracked Spencer Strider. It was a long pause because I blanked out again on who they were playing. Sorry. Look, it's overs though for me because I think both these pitchers are very capable of getting hit. Spencer Strider has not been the Spencer Strider of last year. That's clearly goes without saying. You know, if you look at his numbers, you look at some of his recent performances, you can read all those stats you want. I'll tell you this. He's 6-0 to the over after a winner as a dog if he allowed 4 or more hits. It's the margins that swayed me off of the Nats and put me on the total in this one. Listen to these things, man. The average runs being scored in those Parker wins, or overs rather, 13.8. Let's just call that 14. Atlanta. Now, this is the one that I like the most, though. This is the revenge and rematch factors in play and intersecting at 0. Atlanta goes 8-0 to the over. If they're in the favorite role, in the revenge spot, if they left runners on base the last time they played them, 6 or more runners on base, they're averaging 14.9 runs a game in those spots. Just call that 15. So we got a 14 and a 15. And then when the Nats are in the rematch position as a dog, they're 8-0 to the over. And they're averaging 14.6 runs per game in those spots. So you got meaty numbers all over the place for this 6:45 start. I thought it was too good to pass up. That's why it was a late ad. Last edition add to the card. But I think it's one we have to take advantage of. We've got it in front of us here. There's no time like the present to go out there and fire. So fire we will. Let's keep her moving. Let's get into some more action here. I've got to type these, as I said to you guys, as we're rolling, because I didn't. Onward, upward. Next game we've got on deck is that Baltimore and White Sox spot out there. I've got not one, but 2 plays in this game. Probably should have same game parlayed it, but I kind of like them each with respect to their own right. So, look, I'm obviously hoping to come out of here 2-0 with them. But maybe even if it's a split, we can find the middle, get some cash. But that being said, it's really hinging on Baltimore. Last night, I really hinged my touchdown action on one fucking scrub. Who knew there was only going to be one touchdown that whole game? Damn. But here's the deal. Here's the way we're looking at it. Shout out to Mike. Mike's in the house. Says twin NFL games tonight. What's the best dog of the day? Probably the Nats. I mean, if you're looking for a price tag, depends on the price tag you're looking for, but okay. Shout out to Keith. Each and every stride's in the house. Says big night of betting tonight. All right, so Baltimore and Bradish, 5+ strikeouts, plus 164. That's the first leg, first play. And then the second one's a straight play on the under 8 in this game. Sharp Respected Betting Report came through today. It talked about the under in this game, and it makes a lot of sense. The thing for me is this all kind of hinges around Bradish going out there and shoving. And Bradish is in a spot to go out there and shove. That's how this one worked out for me. So the under, yeah, it made sense. I started looking at it, thinking about these players, these opportunities, sharp respected betting action coming in on it. I said, you know what? I get it. It's the Orioles and the White Sox. What kind of game are we going to see from these guys? It's an AL Central team. We've been talking about those teams going to the under. Everything says a fade the White Sox in the first game of the series. So, they're tending to shit the bed. If you fade the White Sox in the first game of a series, you're 7-3 in the last 10. It's Kyle Bradish that goes out there and beats the shit out of the opponents when they're out of division. He's 28-8 when he starts for the Orioles playing out of division opponents. And so now we're starting to get a picture of probably Baltimore should go out there and shove. But we got to turn it into a plus money price tag. And the Bradish prop, the K prop, was 5.5. So we took the hooker off of that thing. We brought it down to a 5-pack. And we got wind blowing in, by the way. I forgot that key component to it. But from a Bradish perspective, pretty much a clean slate against this White Sox side of things. So a team that's questionable when it comes. I know those post All-Star break. I got it. I get it. White Sox have been a profitable team post All-Star break. We've been on them, boys, for some spots, some opportunities out there. I think with the condition and the fact that the pitchers have the advantage out here, only 3 guys have seen Sean Burke at all. So collectively, 4 guys on 18 hitters have seen these pitchers at all. We should be able to cruise through the first 5, get 3-4 of them strikeouts. And if we can get Bradish playing strong enough, as the numbers suggest he will, then we should be able to go out there and shove. Maybe he gets into the 6th inning and he picks up that 5th strikeout. Mike says, best quote of the year. I respect you guys, but I'm betting the Bills when they were plus 650. It was a glorious day. It's hard to believe that was just a week ago. Oh, there's been so much good happening. That was a fun show, that's for sure. We're gonna have a fun show tonight. 2 games, lots of props, lots of live betting options. Really, I told you guys when the season's end, we have to look at our notes. I got to practice what I preach, because I was talking to you guys about some of the ways that I go about capping the card and stuff, and trying to take a better advantage of those opportunities when you see, what do I do here? I fucked up the order somehow. Anyways, props particularly is what I was going to try to say before I shut myself down. Some of these guys will have, I told you the other day with the Austin. Now, I didn't realize Austin Eckler was going to get hurt, clearly, but 2.5 was his passing completion or pass receiving amount. The game 1, game 2, the pass receiving amount moved up to 3.5. Once it's moved, we don't want to go chasing it anymore unless it's got some real meat behind it. But the numbers, and then looking at them at halftime, how many does this player have? Right? Simple stuff, but that's just something specific that I looked at my notes on and said, you know what? That's something I got to do a better job with. So expect more live bets for prop bets. Maybe, listen, prop bets don't have to be full unit size bets if you don't want them to be. They can be whatever you want. Some guys say, hey, I don't bet props. Well, I don't know why not. There's a lot of opportunity. And, the game script flips. It moves. As the game gets going, certain opportunities come out there that didn't. Or maybe it keeps you off a pre-flop spot and you just needed some assurances to go out there and bet it during the game itself. But we'll talk football in about 12 minutes or so over on the dual stream, the best damn dual stream in the business. New York Yankees are going to battle indeed. Now, Yankees are pushing for the playoffs. I'm trying to kind of show you guys these teams that are, there's some meaningful and meaningless games, right? But I thought this one, yes, it's meaningful. It's meaningful in the regard that the Yankees are trying to push for that playoffs. Problem is they just came off of Sunday Night Baseball. So maybe they should win this game. And the price tag says it. Minus 152, it's moved to minus 195, right? That's not fucking brain surgeon telling you that. 94% of the bets, 93% of the cash on the Yankees. Thing is, this total's gone from 8.5 to 9. And now the 9, remember when I told you guys before about the not the false flag, the head fake on the steam? Like it'll move to 8.5 to 9, but the 9's minus 105. So it's not a real move. They're just kind of fucking with the heads of people that try to read the lines like that. Well, this one's got some validation behind it. It's got a minus 112 price tag on it. 88% of the bets, 88% of the cash on the over in this game. Why? Peel the onion back. Simeon Woods Richardson, Carlos Rodon. Now, The problem I think the Yankees have in this series is they've been kicking the shit out of the Twins. So if you're the Twins, I know last week I said, does it really matter if you really want to play spoiler? Do you want to get the fuck out of there? I don't know, man. I think in this case, this one's a little unique. Unique for two reasons. We'll talk about it here as we get into it. But first and foremost, Rodon on the road isn't the same guy at home, right? I mean, he's I don't want to say struggles. He is a lefty. Does concern me a touch, a smidge. And he has been playing well, so I'll give him that. But he's got a 196 against lefties, a 194 against righties. Does that carry on? Because it rolls up to a 3.34 ERA when he's on the road. And a lot of guys have seen him. A lot. So these guys that have been getting busted up on the Twins are guys that have been getting busted up by Carlos Rodon. So I think you got a little bit of that revenge factor that sprinkles into this game. A little bit, maybe. But obviously we're going to go with a little bit more than I think they're going to be pissed. Yeah, of course they're going to want to go back out there and fire. But we got some meaty numbers again. And these are where the margins stacked me up and said, I don't want to play a team coming off of Sunday Night Baseball. But the motivation should be Minnesota wants to go out there and exact revenge. And look, if you're going to do it against anybody, you might as well smack around Rendon a little bit. 2-2, 1-1-2. Last 5 games, runs given up. He's played now. This will be his 4th in his last 6 games on the road. So he's shaky on the road. His K numbers go down on the road. Now, the margins are the parts that I wanted to tell you about. The Yankees, when they're in the road favorite role, they allowed 3 or more runs the previous game, and it went over the number. 15-0 to the over. 15.4 runs on average in those spots. What's the key about that? They're a favorite. They allowed a bunch of runs. They outscored the other, or they got runs themselves. The runs get going, the team gets rolling. That's the Yankees because they're 12-0 against the American League when they're on the road as a favorite. Allowed 5 or more runs the previous game, and the total is greater than an 8. They're scoring an average of 14 runs a game in those spots. And it's not just the Yankees, it's the Twins that are finding a way to get it done. And this is the spot that I liked, because I talked to you guys before about leaving the runners on base. If you're getting the runners on base, yeah, you're hitting a shitload of singles, but you're still getting a lot of hits, right? So it's important. You're not just trying to take a team that's been getting blanked and saying, okay, all of a sudden they're going to go over the number. And the fact that the books opened it up at 8.5 and then showed the concern to the 9, which is, again, that key number in baseball, starts to paint a picture that we might see some runs in this game. 18-0 to the over are the Minnesota Twins when they're playing out of the division. Total's bigger than a 7.5, and they left 8 or more runners on base. Check box Yankees. 13.5 are the average runs being scored in those spots. So I thought it was a mighty fine opportunity for us to take this over. Red Rover, let's pop this over. See if we can't get this game moving. And I'll keep it moving. We got 3 more spots to talk about here for baseball. Get these plays out to you guys, and then we can hunker on down for the evening. Start talking some football. Some good old-fashioned football that apparently is wussified now because they have the kickoff rule that they do. I guess that's what I read today. I don't know if you believe everything you read, but that's what I heard somebody said. We know the Cardinals are another one of those teams to fade in the first game of a series. This one, if I had more meat on the bone, I'd give it to you. This is a team that's motivated because they're still alive in the playoff race right now. And you got them at a plus 104 price tag. Here's the thing. The Sharp Respected Betting Report agreed. Minus 141. It's dropped to plus 104. So you crossed through 0. I've been talking about this with the UFC. This time of year, and as these sports become more popular, the public is literally dummying these things up. I don't mean that with any disrespect to any of you guys I don't consider you guys the public. Just my assessment and perception. If you're on the Cardinals, so be it. You can always cancel your bet. 49% of the bets, but 59% of the cash show you there's that little differential that we look for. It's on the Cincinnati Reds. You open as a favorite, minus 141. You move them to a slight dog. It's Lytle and Liberatore, whatever. Motivation should lie for the Cincinnati Reds. They're not officially eliminated from the playoffs. The wild card is at play. The St. Louis Cardinals are a team we want to fade the first game of a series. They're also coming back from an extended road trip. That's another big thing. They played at Seattle. They played at Milwaukee. They got busted up until the last game against Milwaukee. They won that game 3-2 yesterday. They travel back home. They got a lot of shit going on when you first get back home after a week and a half's absence. You guys know the deal. You guys ever come back from a 7 or 10 day vacation? Takes you a couple days to get back into the swing of things. I think that's the case that we have right here. Now, for the Reds, not all easy. They just got busted up in their own right by the Athletics. But we talked about that Athletics team. It's not a playoff team yet, but it's a bunch of young guys that are feeling good and motivated to go get to themselves in Las Vegas. They're probably already talking to each other about the bar scene, the nightlife, and the houses that they're going to go get when they move out there. So in any event, I'll give them a pass for that Athletics dismissal. I didn't really play. I was on the Athletics more than I was on the Reds in that series anyhow. But I think this is one of those spots. Last week was kind of that quasi little calm before the storm. You've got a couple days left before you get ready for the final push of baseball. These teams have 4 series or so left in the game right now before it's all over for them. So I'll take the Reds at a nice plus money price tag because this line has gotten steamed through 0. I think it's a good opportunity for us to jump in there and play on that. I got 2 more plays for you guys. We're going to do this right on the dot. It's going to be right on the dot that we get this thing popped off. But let's roll on a series that does have tons of meaning. This Houston Astros Texas Rangers series, the Battle of Texas. The Astros coming into this one, starting to find form again. That's always scary if you're trying to go out there and play against these boys. They got Jason Alexander that'll take to the mound. Now, I don't want to get overzealous about their starting to come back to form. They did just lose 8-3 to the Braves that last game of the series, but they started that series out so damn dominant. The bats are hitting again. That's very scary. It's a scary position to be in. The thing is, you got the Rangers again fighting for a playoff spot. They played themselves into contention. So you have to respect it. Got to respect the contention. Texas Rangers, Jack Leiter comes into this one. And look, thing for Leiter. Kind of got roughed up coming in off a bad inning. He had been going 6 innings. 7 hits against that Brewers team. That was a bad series for these boys. That's okay. The Brewers are a tough hitting team. We're going to jump in on the under for this game. I'll move her along for you guys. Bottom line, Jason Alexander, 4.19 ERA. 282 in his last 11 starts with the Astros. So you got to respect that. Numbers are moving in the right direction. And the Rangers bats, despite them finding W's, are still ranking towards the bottom against righties. 283 OBA. That's 26th in baseball. 80 WRC plus. We talked about that. 23rd in baseball. So I think we can see a little Alexander. Look, he went 7 innings. Then he had a tough go. It happens to everyone. It seems like every time they come off a really stellar performance, they shit the bed a little bit on the next start out there. And Leiter, 2.94 ERA in his last 10 starts. He's been on fire since the All-Star break. 2.66 in his last 4. So really grinding since the All-Star break and playing even better when you zoom into his last 4 games. All the intent. This is a playoff game. This is a low-scoring playoff affair. We'll take a shot there, and we'll round it out and sound it out with this last game here. Another big battle, exciting battle. This one will be fun to keep an eye on as the night is rolling on because the Philadelphia Phillies will be rolling out to the West Coast. And yeah, revenge on the mind. Let's not forget what happened. Dodgers came in and slapped them around. Then that kind of took the swagger away from them fighting Phils. Took a little shine off the trophy. We'll take the Philadelphia Phillies here in this spot. A couple things going on here. It's priced at a very concerning point for a public favorite Dodgers team. That should be concern number one. Phillies are 23-0 to the under when Suarez is starting out there after a home start. So we got a low-scoring battle out there. The Dodgers in series openers are 9-0 to the under. Dog with revenge on the mind in a lower-scoring under situation, having just 2 weeks ago gotten busted up. That's going to be the way we stop the show here. You're going to see a link on Twitter. You can find it on the Sports Money page. Going to start up there. We're going to get this thing going for the 7 p.m. football game. I'll see you guys all in just a few momentos. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button.